Welcome to the Economy Magazine. I'm Benjamin Chong Alfares with a look at the top news reports from the global economy. In today's magazine, Taiwan's sunflower revolution rages on, and Cyprus banks on gas from Aphrodite. First, the headlines. France's far-right National Front won its first mayoral seat since 1995 and appeared well-placed to gain other towns in runoff votes next Sunday. Though the mainstream center-right UMP party also led the socialist incumbent in several cities, its gains were overshadowed by the National Front's breakthrough. National Front leader Marine Le Pen will use her success to build a platform for her presidential campaign in 2017. Hollande's Socialist Party suffered a record low turnout as many of its disappointed voters stayed home. French manufacturing activity showed the economy is gaining momentum as it unexpectedly resumed growth in March. A factory index based on a survey of purchasing managers rose to 51.9 from 49.7 in February, the highest since June 2011. Though improving market conditions contributed to the expansion, price discounting also supported sales. Sustained activity growth could lead to an improvement in employment and deliver a timely boost to confidence. South Korea's equity exchange started offering physical gold trades for the first time as the government seeks to curb black market transactions. The government estimates that black market transactions make up as much as $3 billion of trade. Korea Exchange aims to gradually replace illegal sales that total as much as 70 metric tons annually. Illegal sales deprive the state of an estimated $280 million in taxes. Purchasing gold bars is a common way to hide income in Korea, where a shadow economy of unreported buying and selling accounts for a quarter of gross domestic product. German companies urge caution as the European Union prepares sanctions against Russia that may also hurt their business interests. Within the EU, Germany sends the highest proportion of its exports to Russia, about 3.3%. Volkswagen, Siemens, and Heidelberg Cement are among the largest foreign investors in Russia. Deutsche Bank economists last week said, in Western Europe, Germany is the most exposed to the trade risk of a Russian crisis. And as Germany is the motor of European growth, anything that hurts the German economy would affect the Eurozone. Nigeria could face a food crisis this year, threatened by a shorter rainy season and ongoing Islamist insurgency. Meteorologists forecast a shorter rainy season, reducing periods of planting and harvesting. Nearly 70% of Nigerians work in agriculture in the north and center of the country, which are subject to inter-ethnic violence. Violence has caused 60% of farmers to leave the fertile region, leading to enormous losses. Growing demand in neighboring Niger further diminishes Nigerian reserves. A controversial trade deal between mainland China and Taiwan, the Republic of China, has inspired protests that are now in their 7th day. The protesters say the agreement will threaten small business and allow Beijing to exert greater influence in Taiwan. Daniel Roth has the story.
More than 200 people have been occupying Taiwan's legislature since last Tuesday, with thousands more protesting outside in solidarity. The demonstrations erupted in response to a free trade agreement with China, which protesters say undermines the country's economy and makes it vulnerable to political pressure from Beijing. The swelling crowds of the student-led coalition are demanding that the agreement be withdrawn after not following through on a promised review of the controversial pact. So far, the demands of what the Taiwanese media has dubbed the Sunflower Revolution have not been met.
Everyone will have to stay here, but please do not let our passion be taken down by the delaying tactics of Kuomintang.
The treaty with China, Taiwan's primary trading partner, passed its first hurdle, getting the okay by a parliamentary committee, which provides for the opening of the services sector to Chinese companies. In exchange, Taiwanese investors can now access a large part of the Chinese market. For the president of Taiwan, this agreement has the potential to allow the country to gain credibility on an international level and lead to new alliances that could be beneficial to their economy.
The approval of Taiwan's trade pact will open Taiwan's market to mainland China further and allow our country to have more advantageous conditions compared to other foreign countries' investment. Young people have big dreams. We should not restrict them in Taiwan. We should support them to go into a bigger market.
While entrance into a bigger market could happen, this agreement could also lead to an influx of Chinese workers into the Taiwanese job market, which could displace Taiwan's workers.
And we're now joined by Tal Reshef, Israel-Asia business expert, for a discussion on Taiwan. Tal Reshef, thanks for joining us. Why is this agreement a problem for Taiwanese people?
Well, it's a problem from the aspect of patriotic sentiments. Ties between Taiwan and China, mainland China, are becoming stronger and stronger by the time, mainly on the basis of economy. And those who are feeling that their independence is so important feel that the risk of being taken over by China this way or another is getting closer.
But is that real what we're looking at? I mean, essentially, we're talking about an economic agreement. China and Taiwan have had good economic relations, certainly economic relations, for many years now. They've been really good for China. They're good for Taiwan as well. What's the problem?
Well, from an economic point of view, I don't see any real problem in it. The problem is that this agreement is opening the barriers between Taiwan and China even more than before. It's really a free trade agreement that is opening up for investments in services in a way that the Taiwanese economy is going nearly to be integrated into the Chinese economy. And this is not an economical problem. This is a national sentiment problem.
Would you say it's a security issue?
It might be a security issue because once Taiwan is so integrated with mainland China, the pressure from the government of China will be more effective in case that they want to put in a pressure. Taiwan will have more to lose in such a case.
I see. Now, Taiwan, like Hong Kong, has long been an economic engine for China. What is the interest for Taiwan here in the relationship?
Well, Taiwan has become a kind of a hub for China in the last 2 decades. Today, the economy of Taiwan is based on entrepreneurs and investors and managers that are running their operations inside of mainland China with Chinese workers. So this is the basis. China is the main economic partner for Taiwan, by far above any other partner that they have. It's getting to the point of having more than 50% of the economy running around mainland China.
How do you think this situation is going to resolve itself?
I'm not sure that it is going to be resolved. It depends on who you're asking. I mean, those who wish to see the two countries integrated can say that, well, we are on the good directions. Those who object it, they see the threat. For the moment, I believe that the agreement will be beneficial for the economy of both countries, at least for short term.
Okay, well, Tal Reshef, Israel-Asia business expert, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. The discovery of gas reserves off the coast of Cyprus is giving renewed impetus to peace talks between the divided islands north and south. The Aphrodite field also offers optimism that natural gas will provide relief for the island's crippled economy. Here's more.
The Aphrodite field just off the coast of Cyprus holds the promise of about 140 billion cubic meters of natural gas. While it is not expected to be developed until at least 2018, there's already a lot riding on the find. Besides a much-needed cash injection for the Cypriot economy, the discovery helped revive political talks between the north and south of the divided island.
This situation now with the hydrocarbon, maybe now is the time. If not now the time, I don't know when we're going to lose this problem. And also maybe it's a good chance for Cyprus to go ahead again economically, I mean, because really our people in the last years, here, on the second year now, we face a lot of problems after what's happened.
To become a gas hub for valuable Israeli and Lebanese reserves, the Nicosia government would need a rapprochement with Ankara. Turkey's economy, the 18th largest in the world, needs gas to fuel its growing manufacturing sector. Even though it is unclear whether the Aphrodite field is large enough to warrant its own plant, many are pinning their hopes on the island's budding gas sector to save the economy.
What we're hoping, and it's happening already, is that in addition to getting the direct benefit of selling the gas, we will get the indirect benefit of these companies basing their operations here in Cyprus.
While some are enthusiastic, many Cypriots are cautiously optimistic.
I have big hopes for gas and petroleum, that it will help Cyprus, if the foreigners will let us handle it on our own.
Νομίζω ότι I think it will help, but it won't happen very soon. And I believe that until it happens, maybe the people and the economy will improve slowly.
Compared to Qatar's North Dome, which has about 51 trillion cubic meters, the Aphrodite field is small. But the find holds promise for the divided island with an ailing economy.
And now for a look at some of the more oddly interesting stories we got for you from the global press in Media Watch with Daniel Roth. Daniel.
How's it going?
Another banker died?
Yeah, the New York Post. New York Post is covering this. It's the 8th banker suicide this year.
Jeez.
The 12th death in the financial world, which includes also kind of mysterious circumstances we spoke about a few weeks ago.
Right, yeah.
That, a few of them that people don't really know what happened. But this is the 8th banker suicide this year.
Okay.
And
being that you love conspiracy theories, I know you do. So what's going on here?
Look, I think there's lots of theories going around the internet that you can point out and have fun with. Probably the truth is that this is a really literally a killer industry to work in. It's working, up to 36 hours in a row as someone.
More so than before? I mean, are we talking about basically a global financial crisis inspiring suicide, massive suicide?
Look, if I had to guess, I don't think it's necessarily more so than before. I think if I had to guess why people are committing suicide en masse now, it may be because there's kind of a window open now to kind of the gross inequalities and kind of what kind of industry it is, banking, and some people who found themselves in it for money and in it for kind of what's normally thought of as success are looking around and seeing perhaps emptiness around them. They're working, like I said, like 36-hour shifts, and then looking around and wondering what they're doing it for. Again, this is all speculation entirely, but it's, I think people are just exhausting themselves to death emotionally and physically.
So they're not necessarily getting the same kind of relief that we saw in The Wolf of Wall Street?
Right. No, they're not. They're not getting this. I think
it's not as sexy as that movie made it seem.
Right. I think the movie gives you this image that whether you think it's good or bad, they give you an image of kind of Playboy fun on Wall Street. And probably the truth is, for the vast, vast majority of people working on Wall Street, they're not wolves. They're more sheep. They're dressing the same, trying to fit in. They're working long hours, trying to fit in.
They're sheep in wolf clothing.
Yes, exactly. To the rest of us, they may look like wolves, but I think what we're seeing here is that there's a lot of people in that industry kind of fragilely trying to make their way forward.
Right. Okay, I understand we have something from Rwanda as well.
Yeah, the New York Times has this piece. Rwanda is really pushing forward a new economy, and they in Rwanda's territory, there's not much oil or natural gas, which is maybe lucky for them because it means that they've been given some freedom from the rest of the world.
The claws of the international corporations.
Like they, instead of asking for donations to help their country, they're looking for investment, and they're not looking for investment in their natural resources. They're looking for investment in trade and in agriculture, which they're really pushing. Agriculture being the biggest industry there, but now they're kind of building the stock exchange in the capital in Kigali, and really trying to push forward a new idea of what Rwanda can be.
So those people on Wall Street, wanting to go back to that, I'm sorry, who are just considering suicide, or just so downtrodden and so little compared to the big wolves, could now go to Rwanda and maybe try it there.
Yeah, I guess it is a real risk, this kind of, it may be that instead of international interests looking to Rwanda to take whatever resources they have, it may be Rwandan interests that are doing that instead. And, still the country is 90% of the people outside of the cities work in agriculture. So it's not by any means an urban population yet, the 12 million people there, but they are experiencing very fast growth.
I see.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to know, what else do you have?
So the Harvard Crimson, which is the Harvard school paper, but we give it a pass because it's Harvard. So they're reporting that the Harvard Business School it has an online program that they're starting.
Well, we're going to have to check that out next time, or you guys are going to have to check it out yourselves. Thank you very much for watching. This is the end of our show. I'm Benjamin Chong Alfares. Please send us your comments and join us again tomorrow.